Here we go again with more questionable couples. Between cheating scandals, OT being exposed, and just the overall impression of their relationships, there are a lot of couples that people just love to hate. I'm back with some more people to talk about, so let's get into our list of the top 10 celebrity couples that everyone hates part 3. At number 10, Eminem and Kim Mathers. When it comes to back and forth celebrity relationship drama, fans can get really tired of it after a while, so that could be the reason why people hated it when Eminem and Kim were together. Rapper Eminem, aka Marshall Mathers, has had a rocky relationship with his ex-wife Kim Scott, and it's sort of been that way since the very beginning. They first met in the late 80s when Marshall was 15 and Kim was 13, and they became pretty dependent of each other from the start. They lived together at his family home and later began a romantic relationship, moving in together and having a daughter. After years of being an on and off again couple, the two got married shortly before Marshall's first major tour. It was then that Kim saw Marshall and their relationship as imperfect, and she started to doubt whether she wanted this type of life for herself. Kim said that after the tour, Marshall got a big ego and he started treating her as someone not worthy of his love and presence because he was a big star. Kim also alleged that her husband had been cheating on her. The rapper's career had a very negative effect on their relationship, and so 2 years after tying the knot, they got divorced. They did get back together again briefly, but that ended again. This drama made a lot of fans' heads spin, so it's no wonder why people have negative things to say about these two. At number 9, Janet Jackson and James DeBarge. Now, I'm not sure if everyone hated this relationship, but there was certainly one person in particular who really did not approve. Janet Jackson experienced her first taste of married life when she was only 18 years old when she married James DeBarge in 1984, but their marriage only lasted about a year. Before getting married, they were pretty good friends, and Janet had been friends with James since she was 13 years old. It seems as though they had been in love for a while, and so they took the first opportunity they had to get married. Though Janet's father Joe did not approve of the marriage, they went through with it anyway and were together for 15 months. After they split up, there had been a rumor swirling around that alleged that Janet and James had a child, but they gave it up for adoption in order to save their careers and public image after James brought all of this up in 2016. It's never been proven, but it still remains a wild theory. Janet eventually ended up getting their marriage annulled because of James' substance abuse as it began to take a toll on their relationship. I would imagine that Janet's dad also played a role in getting this marriage annulled since he was completely against it in the first place. Now, before I carry on talking about why people hate these couples so much, why not leave us a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe even smash that subscribe button to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. I remember when Selena and Justin were the talk of the town. Everyone was obsessed with their relationship, always asking them questions about their lives together, and news sources were always covering the drama that was going on with them. They started dating in 2011 when they were still teenagers, and from that point they had a rocky time together, which is why years after they've broken up, some fans have grown to hate their relationship because of how toxic it was. Already people were pretty aware of how toxic Selena and Justin's relationship was simply because of how many times they had public breakups and makeups, but in early 2020, Selena came forward to talk more in depth about their relationship and the negativity that she faced. Selena said that she was, quote, a victim of certain mistreatments, saying that what she felt was emotional mistreatment from Justin. She also went on to say that it took her a long time to find strength in her experiences and to shake her, quote, victim mentality. Justin in late 2019 did open up about his actions in past relationships, saying that he became, quote, resentful, disrespectful to women, and angry. Clearly there was a lot of negativity going on, so people really did not like the fact that they were together. At number 7, Tina and Ike Turner. Ike and Tina Turner were a powerhouse couple in the eyes of the media as well as the fans at first, but behind the scenes things were messy and toxic, and once that became publicly known, people started to really hate the relationship. Ike and Tina first met while Tina was still a teenager, and soon they hit it off and started performing together. Soon their duo catapulted them to stardom, bringing them a lot of success, but because they were so close, things got really toxic. They got married in 1962 and stayed together for the following decade, but Tina was living her life in pain. In her book, Tina wrote about how Ike was a toxic partner, saying, quote, he threw hot coffee in my face, giving me third-degree burns. He used my nose as a punching bag so many times that I could taste blood running down my throat when I sang. He broke my jaw. I couldn't remember what it was like to not have a black eye. End quote. Things got so bad that Tina wanted to end her own life, but thankfully she survived her attempt and used her survival as fuel to get the strength to leave Ike and this toxic life behind. After this horrible relationship was exposed, fans started to rethink their support of this relationship completely. At number 6, Mel Gibson and Oksana Grigorova. Mel Gibson is probably one of the most hated people in Hollywood, so it's no surprise that his relationship would be hated too. Mel was in a toxic relationship with his former partner Oksana Grigorova, and so many people hated it. The two had a very messy breakup in 2010, and at this time an audio recording came out that showed Mel yelling at Oksana and saying horrible things to her about her body because he was mad that she allegedly lied to him about getting breast implants. In the recording, Mel was heard saying things like how he hated the way that she looked, claiming that she looked provocative and inappropriate, and even saying that if she were to be taken advantage of, that it would be her fault for looking the way that she did. This was a nasty, swear word ridden rant that honestly no one deserves to hear. If this recording didn't paint enough of a toxic picture, then I don't know what would. This made people hate this relationship even more than before. At number 5, Mike Tyson and Robin Givens. This relationship was pretty controversial at the time and sort of still is because people really don't know whose side that they want to take, but either way it was toxic and hated by a lot of people. Back in the late 80s, Mike Tyson was dating model Robin Givens. Shortly after they started dating, Robin announced that she was pregnant with Mike's child, and so he married her to, quote, do the right thing. Mike had given Robin and her mother $15 million in order to get themselves settled in a nice house, and it seemed like Mike took care of them. But after a few months passed, Mike noticed that Robin's pregnancy wasn't progressing, and that's when she told him that she had actually lost the baby months prior and just didn't tell him. He was hurt by this discovery but still stayed by her side. It wasn't until their famous Barbara Walters interview came out that things really cracked for the couple and got really toxic. The interview was originally supposed to be an exclusive with Mike, but apparently before things got started, Robin had pulled Barbara to the side to tell her that she had some things that she wanted to say, and then proceeded to speak out about how Mike had allegedly been hurting her, saying that she was mistreated in the relationship. They divorced soon after, but people believe that the whole truth wasn't uncovered. Sources say that Robin was manipulating Mike and that things had been toxic because of her, but Mike just let it go. This was all over the place, so a lot of people just don't know what to think of it. At number 4, Axl Rose and Erin Everly. The tumultuous relationship of Axl Rose and Erin Everly is one that was pretty hated after allegations started to come out about what went on behind the scenes. Axl and Erin met in the early days of Axl's career, and soon they became inseparable. Erin became one of the most important people in Axl's life, being the inspiration for the song Sweet Child of Mine, and things looked good on the outside. Despite being a good-looking match on the outside though, they had a tumultuous relationship. Even through all of that though, they still ended up getting married in a Las Vegas ceremony in 1990. According to Erin, Axl actually threatened to harm himself if she didn't marry him, so things were already off to a rocky start. The marriage was annulled in 1991, just 9 months after getting married, and in 94, Erin filed a civil lawsuit against Axl, where she alleged that she was hurt by her then husband. After that information came out, people started to hate the fact that this relationship was praised for so long. At number 3, Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Prince Charles and Princess Diana were once considered one of the most beloved celebrity couples, and the world loved them. Well, they loved Diana, but soon they became hated because of the rumors surrounding Charles's extramarital affairs. Behind closed doors, Diana was sad and neglected by her husband, but no one knew that until later on. She was always second best in Charles's eyes, having never gotten over his infatuation for Camilla Parker Bowles, a woman that he was told he could never have. Diana regretted marrying Charles because she always knew that there would be 3 in the marriage: her, Charles, and Camilla. So when they got divorced, she was finally free, and the people turned on Charles for being so cruel to Diana. So I guess the people didn't necessarily hate the relationship as a whole, just Charles. At number 2, Chris Brown and Rihanna. One of the most toxic relationships out there was that between Chris Brown and Rihanna, and everyone grew to hate it. No one is quick to forget the incident that happened after the pre-Grammys party in 2009. On the night before the Grammy Awards, Chris and Rihanna got into a serious physical altercation which left Rihanna hospitalized from her injuries. Chris was labeled as a monster for what he did that night. A police investigation was conducted. As a result, he was sentenced to 5 years probation and 6 months community service. A lot of people believe that he should have been given a harsher sentence because of how severely he hurt his girlfriend, and he received a lot of hate. People use this as an example to show people that these relationships should not be so praised, and it caused a lot of people to rethink their support. And finally, at number 1, Saweetie and Quavo. No one really acknowledged it until recently, but singer Saweetie and Quavo had a toxic relationship. Shortly after announcing their breakup, footage was leaked which showed the former couple fighting in an elevator. The footage showed the two of them in a physical altercation, showing Saweetie trying to strike Quavo, a suitcase being thrown, Quavo falling on top of his girlfriend, and ending with Saweetie limping away. Though the footage was from a year ago, it gave people a very different perspective on how the relationship was at the time, and fans started to hate the relationship. Both Saweetie and Quavo have said that they've moved on from the incident, but some fans still haven't moved on from this because they don't want to ever see them try and rekindle that toxicity again. Now, before I wrap things up, I want you guys to tell me what you think of some of the relationships I talked about today, and leave your comments and opinions down below. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been your host, Bee Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay groovy, friends.